What did the Sanae Takaichi and Trump discuss? According to the briefings released by both the United States and Japan after the meeting, as well as detailed reports from Kyodo News and Reuters, the core topics of the discussions encompass three major areas: military affairs, energy, and economics. Trump expressed satisfaction with Japan's performance in supporting U.S. actions against Iran, stating that Japan had truly stepped up and used this as an opportunity to criticize NATO allies for their insufficient activism. Sanae Takaichi explicitly stated that Japan condemns Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz and reiterated that Iran must never possess nuclear weapons. Takaichi provided Trump with a detailed explanation of the constraints imposed by Japan's peace constitution and the 2015 security legislation, clarifying what Japan can and cannot do within the bounds of its laws. At present, Japan has not decided to directly dispatch warships for escort operations, but has agreed to cooperate through intelligence sharing and logistical support. The two sides signed a nuclear reactor agreement valued at $40 billion. The U.S. company GE Vernova will collaborate with Japan's Hitachi to construct advanced small modular reactors in Tennessee and Alabama. Both parties plan to launch a joint project to store procured crude oil reserves in Japan as a measure to mitigate the risk of energy supply disruptions caused by the Middle East situation. The two sides announced commercial cooperation projects with a total value of approximately $73 billion. This forms part of Japan's previously committed $550 billion investment plan in the United States, aimed at securing exemptions from U.S. tariffs on Japanese automobiles and steel. Both parties agreed to deepen cooperation in missile development, particularly by increasing the production of Japan's Standard Missile 3 Block EIA interceptors by 4 times. After returning to the White House in 2025, Trump made changes to the display of presidential portraits in the West Wing, establishing what has been termed the presidential quote wall or presidential honor walk. Rather than following tradition by hanging a formal oil painting portrait of the previous president, Biden-Trump installed a gold frame containing only a close-up photograph of an autopen mimicking Biden's signature on a White House desk during a private tour. Trump showed this display to Takaichi. According to descriptions from White House reporters and accompanying personnel present, when Trump pointed to the autopen photograph and mockingly remarked that Biden had been unable to personally sign documents in the final years of his term, Sanae Takaichi let out a noticeable laugh. This action aligns with Trump's long-standing political tactic of using the autopen detail to question the cognitive capacity and legitimacy of Biden's decision making in the later stages of his presidency. Takaichi's laughter has been interpreted by some media outlets as evidence of a particularly high level of personal rapport between her and Trump. In September 2025, Trump publicly declared, "We will not hang a portrait of Biden, we will hang a photograph of an autopen." He has repeatedly asserted that the pardons and executive orders signed by Biden toward the end of his term were executed by machine and are therefore invalid and dishonorable. At the White House dinner, Trump and Sanae Takaichi emphasized the strength of the U.S.-Japan alliance. Trump described this partnership as stronger than ever before, stating that the U.S.-Japan relationship is one of the most powerful and successful alliances in the world, and that under his leadership and that of Prime Minister Takaichi, it is becoming even stronger than at any previous time. During the dinner, Prime Minister Takaichi echoed the late former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe by raising her fist and shouting in English, "Japan is back!" She stressed that Japan in this new era is prepared to play a greater role in global innovation and world peace, describing herself and Trump as the strongest partners in achieving this goal. To commemorate the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States, Takaichi announced that Japan will gift an additional 250 cherry blossom trees to Washington, D.C. to be planted near the Washington Monument. Trump expressed high appreciation for this gesture and invited Takaichi to return for a visit once the trees have been planted. At the banquet, Sanae Takaichi specifically congratulated Trump as youngest son, Barron, on his upcoming 20th birthday, stating, "Tomorrow is your son, Barron Trump's birthday. I know he has grown up and become a tall, handsome gentleman just by looking at him. I can tell this appearance is inherited from you. Please convey my sincere birthday wishes to him on my behalf." She praised Barron's height, reportedly exceeding 2 meters in 2026, and deftly attributed his handsome features to Trump's genes. This remark elicited enthusiastic applause and laughter from the entire audience, including Trump. Trump appeared highly pleased and in his subsequent response, praised Takaichi as an outstanding leader who possesses not only political wisdom but also exceptional powers of observation. In response to a question from a Japanese reporter about why allies were not notified prior to the surprise strike on Iran, Trump stated that the operation required an element of surprise and therefore no one was informed in advance. He then added, "Speaking of surprise attacks, who understands them better than Japan? The Pearl Harbor incident. Why didn't you tell me in advance?" This comment prompted laughter from some officials and reporters present, but the atmosphere quickly turned awkward. Sanae Takaichi visibly froze, her eyes widening, her body slightly shifting, and she took a deep breath. She offered no verbal response throughout, merely striving to maintain a polite expression.